Hello and welcome to module 4.4, Hypnotic Language, how to seduce and persuade your customers with words. So let's dive in straight into the module. People buy not only because of what their logical mind tells them to do, they buy because of what their emotional mind tells them to do. That's why it's important to discover how to trigger feelings of trust, excitement, intrigue, for example, to motivate your ideal customer to follow your call to action. So in this module, we're going to talk about how to use hypnotic language to motivate your audience and your customers into action. Discover how using your customer's name in email or direct mail campaigns keep your audience hooked to your message. How to use descriptive language, which includes similes and metaphors, to paint mental pictures in your customers' minds. And how to tap into specific feelings and emotions with power words. In the context of marketing to people who already know you, which will include your email subscribers or past customers on a mail merge database, for example, when you include your reader's name into your message feels more personal to them. Addressing your recipient on a first name basis is the most basic level of personalization. Addressing your recipient on a first name basis is the most basic level of personalization, and marketing studies have shown positive results. Naturally, when you hear or see your name, it gets your attention, and in this distraction-filled world we live in, anything you can do to hold your customers' and prospects' attention will give you a better chance of getting your message across successfully. We're social creatures, and so we have a sense of belonging. Using the words we, our, and us, implying that you're on the same team, triggers a subtle positive emotion in your readers. It makes you feel much more relatable to them, and in the mind of your reader, those emotions are associated with your message and your brand. The use of metaphors and similes are a great way to add extra flavor to your copy. It's said that metaphors can be used to describe an intangible concept as something tangible that we can visualize. For example, let's look at this phrase. The kitchen was hot. The word hot isn't tangible and doesn't have as much impact as it could, but if we sprinkle a little metaphor syrup up in there, we can give it much more flavor. Now, if we say the kitchen was a furnace, what we've done here is replace the word hot with a tangible object that we can visualize. A simile does pretty much the same thing, but instead of describing the object, it compares or likens the object to another. For example, her voice was as smooth as chocolate. Metaphors and similes put readers in an almost hypnotic trance by providing the reader with concrete mental images. The mental images enhance the immersion, impact, and persuasiveness of the message and can really separate your copy from the pool of dead, bland copy that your competitors may be using. There's some really good books and websites that will help you look for similes and metaphors to sweeten up your copy, but remember, less is more. A sprinkle of metaphors and similes here and there will greatly enhance your message. Overdo it and you'll put off or confuse your reader, losing them altogether. Moderation is the key. Can you imagine what these phrases would look like? The peppers were hot. He is very tall. My knowledge is valuable. Did you have trouble doing that? Me too. It's hard to visualize what hot, tall, or valuable looks like until we compare or liken it to something real. With similes and metaphors, you'll be able to paint a picture in the minds of your readers to help bring home the concepts that you're trying to convey, which gives your message much more clarity and impact. So let's see how we can create some mental images with these words. The peppers were hot. We could write that as the peppers were like fire on my lips. He's very tall. We can translate that to he's a mountain of a man. My knowledge is valuable. My knowledge is money in the bank. So when you rewrite your copy using similes and metaphors, you can see how you can increase the impact by using those picture words. And they always work very well. Now, this is a very powerful technique that writers use in fiction books to create immersive and vivid imagery that keeps readers hooked. So don't be generic, use numbers. If you want your copy to be believable and spark positive expectancy, then you need to eliminate generic claims and be more detailed. Rather than selling with a blanket statement, tell your readers what you need to with a specific factual claim with numbers. You don't have to make it complicated or lengthy, but whenever you can give concrete numbers, your prospective customer will be able to visualize and mentally process what you're saying, which makes it more real to them. So for example, here's a generic example. Our customers love us. That's really generic. Change that to 577 companies love our software. There's a world of difference there. Or if you go from the generic statement that says our print service is fast and reliable, and you change that to your prints will be delivered on time, 100% guaranteed, or your money back. So there's a lot more power to that. So the difference, you can see the difference between a general claim and a specific one that uses numbers. Numbers always pique interest and give the reader more confidence because numbers convey factuality, and that makes the message more believable and therefore more persuasive. So let's look at power words. When it comes to writing irresistible copy for your business, power words are the icing on the cake. They motivate and inspire your readers by adding energy to the content or tapping into feelings and emotions such as fear, lust, anger, greed, happiness, trust, and mystery. That there are a multitude of different feelings and emotions you can intentionally tap into, but it all depends on what you're selling, the effect you want to have on your reader, and what are their motivations for seeking your product or service like yours in the first place. So let's look at the various feelings and emotions we as human beings have that can be used to influence buying behavior. This is the feeling wheel, and it shows the 6 main human emotions in the middle and then expands outwards to illustrate the feelings behind those emotions. This is a very useful tool that will help you choose words that reflect the mood that you're trying to convey. So let's look at them one by one. Let's look at fear. Fear is one of the most powerful of the human emotions. It motivates us to do or to avoid many things. That's why it's so powerful when it comes to motivating people into action, especially in the context of the fear of missing out or having something unwanted happen as a consequence of our actions. So those words include agony, fail, destroy, enforce, panic, plummet, horrific, warning. So if you use those types of words in your copy, you'll instantly be able to arouse those emotions and feelings. Let's look at greed. Most humans are interested in their own self-preservation. It's part of our natural survival instinct. In this context, it can relate to the desire to have more money or saving more. That's why appealing to the feeling of greed is a great motivator. So when you use words like bargain, bonus, cheap, free, gift, luxurious, massive, and save, you can arouse those feelings of greed and really get people to take action. Let's look at anger. When you stir up the emotion of anger, you can really get people moving. Anger is a high arousal emotion, and it's one essential component for making things go viral. If it makes people angry, it's bound to get shared or talked about. So when you use words like evil, disgraceful, lies, money grabbing, obnoxious, abuse, hate, those types of words stir up those emotions of anger. And just to let you know, there's going to be some a download that you can have which has a lot more of those power words. So that's not a full list of words that you can use. There'll be much more inside that download below this video. Let's look at excitement. Now, by default, people read with low energy, but these words add a sense of excitement and aliveness to your copy and the subjects within. So words like amazing, magic, breathtaking, cheer, conquer, excited, eye-opening, and the word finally is very powerful for creating excitement. Let's look at inspiration. As I've mentioned before, people want to be informed, entertained, and inspired. That's going to be throughout your marketing. You've got to remember that. And to use words to make your copy more emotionally charged with that warm, fuzzy feeling of inspiration, you can use words such as dream, winning, inspire, hope, bravery, courageous, heroic, grateful. Use those in your copy and you can use that if you need to speak within the context of inspiration. Let's look at lust. Using these words in your copy will activate the part of the brain that craves intense desire and passion. So use with caution. Like love, technically lust is not considered to be an emotion, but it involves emotions such as bliss, excitement, joy and interest, as well as the erotic anticipation of sensory pleasure. So people who are in no, we're not going to use that. Let's cut that out. Don't use that. So when you use words like tantalizing, thrilling, uncensored, wild, passionate, crave, forbidden, pleasurable, those words will definitely tap into that emotional response of lust. Now let's look at trust. This is one of the most important things, especially when it comes to selling high value products. One of the most important feelings you need to give your readers for a successful business is trust. Without trust, you won't attract new clients or generate repeat business. So you've got to use the following words to make your readers feel safe, and most importantly, you have to back it up. So words such as certified, proven, guaranteed, safe, authentic, secure, approved, best-selling, and accredited, those are all very powerful words when it comes to creating a sense of trust. And finally, intrigue. Everyone wants to know the juicy secrets. Mystique and intrigue is irresistible. It will spark a curiosity that begs to be satisfied, and these words and phrases will help you boost the fascination and curiosity factor in your copy. So when you use words and phrases like behind the scenes, words like confessions, insider, underground, hidden, secret, little known, and uncensored, you can really arouse that feeling of intrigue. So those are not an exhaustive list of words. As I mentioned before, there'll be a download below this video where you can have access to the full list of power words. So just to wrap up, personalizing your message when possible is a great way to hold your reader's attention. So we're talking about using the reader's name. Metaphors and similes add a new level of dimension to your copy, especially when describing things that you can't actually see or touch. Using the feeling wheel, you can identify the kind of response you want your readers to have before you actually write your copy or produce your content. That's very powerful. So the feeling wheel is a great tool you can use for picking out the actual emotional responses you want, and then deciding what words you're going to use to reinforce that feeling. Finally, pick words from the pool of power words to amplify the emotions and feelings you want to arouse in your content. So that's it for this module inside the it's one of the last modules inside the copywriting section. So I hope you got value from that, and make sure you put everything into practice, and hopefully you could get some brilliant results with that. So with that being said, you've come to the end of this module. Hope you got tons of value from it, and I will see you inside the next video. Bye for now.